I mean, just to walk into this church is magical. I mean, one thing you can say is that I'm not so interested in getting new people. If you see yourselves, you'll realize that, I remember the time we had our church next to another church, and people would pass our church on their way to their church at the time of sports meet. Okay? And at that time, I think it was Alien Nation, and so one of the houses was Alien Nation with Natasha and these two, the Morrises. And they set up this alien head at the door. So like as you get these temples and you walk through with a dragon head. So at the door was an alien head that you had to walk through, okay, to get to church. And so all these people from the other church would pass our church. And they were like, literally people said, they really worship the devil. So they really do that there. Wow. But you know what? I rather stay with a close group of people that are free, okay, that celebrate life, that are truly loyal and family, than with a whole lot of old aunties, and old uncles, or young people like old aunties and uncles. But the fact of the matter is we have old aunties and uncles here, right? But the thing is, our aunties and uncles are groovy. They are groovy, okay? I'd rather be with groovy aunties and uncles, okay, than with young people who look like aunties and uncles. Okay? I'd rather have you. No, absolutely. Of course. Because I'll tell you, when you come in here, you understand how precious you are. If you're out there and you're watching what's going on here, this is a celebration of life. And this they're doing, this is so crazy. And if you're watching me from the USA or wherever in the world, just understand that these guys are so immersed in their life that what is happening thousands of miles away, that they will not even be part of, they're so immersed for someone else to be able to celebrate someone else. And so, thank you. Thank you very much, WOW. Thank you very much, WOW Sri Lanka. There is no other people like you. You are absolutely awesome. So, let's get this done. We are in the Neuroscience of Grace. I wanted to get the dream team. The dream team, as usual, have got a whole lot of dreams. But we'll see, maybe at the end, we will call them up like last time, if you are not too tired. Okay? If there's energy, then the prophecies work. Okay? The prophecies work with energy. Okay? This energy is wonderful. But also, this energy can exhaust you. Okay? And so if the energy is like low, you need to understand maybe we should all go. Okay? But if the energy is high, then we can then get the prophetic in, because unless you set the environment, the prophetic word even doesn't work. Yeah, the prophetic works only work. It doesn't matter how accurate the prophecy. And mind you, if you're watching me from abroad, if you're watching me from Sri Lanka, that was Tammy and Natasha who gave prophetic words last time. But there's a whole lot of, you got to see my phone in the morning. This is what I didn't want to do. I used to have the dream team before individuals. So they would send it individually. But I didn't want them to put it together because I know it's going to be too much. And now it is like too much. Because every day in the morning, I get up to like dreams and dreams and dreams and dreams and dreams and dreams of different situations for you. For WOW, okay? And it's just mind-blowing because it shows how much this God wants to talk to us. You see? It shows how intimately connected this God is with us. You see, anyone who's willing to hear, he says, I want to talk. Are you open? I'm willing to talk to anyone who's willing to hear. You see? And so that's the dream team. And just to understand the level of proficiency and accuracy you just heard. Names, places, people, dates. You can go anywhere in the world. Like, trust me, I've gone all over the world, and I met prophets all over the world. You get a whole lot of fake stuff off Facebook. And unfortunately, I think it might be filtering into Sri Lanka as well. But these are real people. That's why I slowed down on prophetic, and I wanted people out there, if you're watching me in Sri Lanka, I want you to see this is not some guy on a high horse, a pastor or a prophet prophesying. These are people who know that they're loved And they get detailed information about people's lives because God loves people and wants to talk to people. You see what I'm trying to say? And so that is why I'm trying to democratize the prophetic. If you're watching me from outside, this is as easy as stepping in out of the lift into this place. That's how the prophetic comes on to you. As if you come to this place, just one thing for sure, this God becomes a reality, and this God starts talking to you. Okay? Yes, if I lay hands, it will get amplified. Yes, we can narrow it down into an ordination. That means the way they are seen prophetically now will be exactly the way I see it, and it will work like that. If you remember how she said, you were sitting over there, someone's cat, but they sat in a different place, but it was their cat. You see? So it's positional. You see how it's positional? Yeah. You remember last time I said Lilani and Julius? You see? But they were sitting in a different place. You see, so positionally, it's very prophetic. Just understand that God knows where you're sitting. And he watches it. And a very, very strange thing that happens is once you take that seat, it's a very funny thing. Even if you don't come on that day for a couple of weeks, that seat is sort of warmed up for you. And funnily, I will get words exactly for that seat, but I know it's not for the person sitting there because you didn't come that day, it's for you. So I won't even prophesy for the person because you didn't come, because it's for the seat. You understand? So the dynamics are amazing. There's so much to learn. I had 10 years of understanding how this thing works. And and so the Dream Team has the privilege to understand how it's working. And believe me, you all will get so prophetic in the next couple of years. This place will be one of the most accurate places in the world. People will come from all over the world just to understand, to see the wonder of how God talks to people so accurately in a community. Trust me, that's how it's going to happen in this place. Believe me when I tell you, the technology that has been passed on to you in terms of the spiritual and supernatural is awesome. Absolutely awesome. Okay, let me get into the Neuroscience of Grace. Last time we hit a really nice place, okay? And I spoke about the process of grace, or what the neuroscientists call it, the process of flow. And to understand that first you need the law. You need to be able to do something constantly, and there is a process of struggle first. And after that, after the law, you face your death. In every situation in life, whether it's a work, whether it's exercise, whether it's fasting, whether it's getting healed, getting healthy, whatever it is, there is first a struggle in everything, and after the law, you face your death. That's called release. And after a release, if you time your struggle and your release, and you become an expert at struggling, and know how much to struggle and how to struggle properly, you can optimize your struggle. You can optimize the law. You can deploy the law, okay? So that for your benefit, that you get propelled through a release. It's like jumping off a cliff and suddenly angels pick you up. It's called grace. And then grace picks you up, okay? And grace means everything synchronizes, you're perfect, everything is working out. And then afterwards, it's resurrection, or what the neuroscientists call it's recovery. And this cycle is a built-in process. The struggle or the law is built in to grace. To get grace, the process, you can't hack it by bypassing the struggle and get to grace. The built-in process is the struggle. And so when you understand that, if you're struggling and frustrated now, guess what's happening? You're in the process of what's going to take place. If you understand it's built in, the struggle, the law is built in, so that once you have a tutor, the next is you die to everything you've been trying, and then you're there. Now, specifically, when I talk about the law, I want to explain to you. Now, remember I said I started laying the base for you. Some people ask me, Kirby, why can't you say it straight, or why can't you tell me the whole thing? Tell me the whole thing. If I tell you, really, 5 years down the line, you still won't be able to handle it. Do you understand that? It's a gift and a curse both to be able to see. What I've realized. It's a gift and a curse both to be able to see. To know 5 years from now, to know 1 year from now, to know 10 years from now. It's a gift, it's a blessing, but also a curse. The reason because of that is because others can't see. And so people say, but show me, tell me. But just a little bit of telling someone about what it takes for the next 5 years can completely crack the wineskin and who they are now, because they won't be able to handle how they need to proceed for the next couple of years. So we rather start showing you small amounts. I want you to understand, in my life, so many years ago, it happened to me, nothing takes me by surprise. Nothing takes me by surprise. Or nothing is not planned. I like to be humble sometimes. But Kirby, did you realize that this is all going to happen to you? Did you realize that this is what's going to happen? Did you realize? I'm like, yeah. But did you realize when you got to the warehouse? Of course I realized. Of course. You see? Because once you're given the blueprint, the plan, then you can build. Okay? So what I'm doing with you all right now is I'm just building a little bit of blueprint for you guys. Okay? But if you all see what is coming to you, it's mind-blowing. Why am I saying that? Because to set up a culture is very, very important. You can go all over the world and you can be itinerant or you can speak, but you don't have a community and you don't have a culture. You see? Setting up this culture. I'm not so impressed with big crowds, neither am I impressed with bringing a whole lot of people by buses to my meetings. I've done that. You've seen when 2,000, 3,000 people come, and I will do that again, and you'll see it. We'll bring the 2,000 in. Okay? That is not impressive to me. Yeah. What is impressive is this. What is happening here is culture building. Now, why am I saying that? Is because I'm training the nervous system of the people to be able to receive the glory that is going to come. There's a weight. The glory always is a weight. There's something coming to you in your life, a weight of glory, of excellence, of power, of authority. But for that to come, your nervous system has to be free. What you're doing with your masks and enjoying and dancing and all these kinds of things, I know we're having a good time. But for me, I've been there, I've done that. Just understand that, okay? I painted my hair orange, got onto a plane, went to Zurich Street Festival, and partied there for 2-3 days. That was me, okay? What are you doing? Am I interested in partying? People think, Linda said something interesting, but Kirby, you're going to come and have a party. I said, Linda, sweetheart, I'm not coming there to have a party. I will party when I come there. But if I wanted to have a party, I can have a party. I know how to have a party. I'm coming to Union because I'm setting up a culture in the USA. I'm coming there to father something which I'm doing here. Okay? Because your nervous system needs to be released to be able to handle what is coming. Okay? There is everything in the world. What is coming is community. Believe me when I tell you. Okay? Believe me when I tell you what is coming is community. People wanting community. People wanting to have the right community. I don't want to bring people into a community that is stiff, broken, hurting, rejected. I don't want to bring people into a community that doesn't understand the depth of grace that God has given us. So we're building a community. Why am I saying that? I'm saying that because in anything, when you set up a community, you have to explain and understand what you have, why we struggle at certain points, and when we are going to hit a realm of grace, and why when we need to hit the realm of grace, there's law, and with the work and with the working, if you remember how I set up now Naomi and who is this, Dhiren, have really mastered the house music integrated with the worship. Did you notice that? How many of you notice that house music is integrated with the worship? Come on, don't tell me you didn't notice that, okay? Okay? That's a very, very important deal. Okay? That house music is integrated with the worship. Do you know how long we've taken to get that done? Now, Naomi and Dhiren will think, well, we got it done just last month. No. We took years to get that done. Literally because first, you needed to see this. If you're playing house music with grace, as an artist, you'll realize if no one is on the floor, it's the worst thing to do. It's like, why? These people don't even understand. You know, you're trying to give them French cuisine, and they don't have the palate for French cuisine. Huh? Okay? Grace gives you a cuisine that you don't have a palate for, that is very acquired. So the acquiring of the palate is the job of the leadership for you to understand that what we're setting you up is with the acquiring of the palate. If you want to bring crowds, that's very easy. I have to change the cognitive load, the load of what is coming down. Now let me explain why I'm explaining this to you, because we're getting to the neuroscience of grace, right? So why do you have to change the cognitive load down? Means if I tame my language, and if I tame the concepts of what I'm teaching, if I tame the concepts, and I tame the ideology, tame the language, okay, we won't have words like neuroscience, okay? It's complicated, it's hard to even say it, okay? If you tame this down, what naturally happens is you start bringing in people who receives information that is very peripheral. That means people who just want immediate, quick information, like watching TV. You say beautiful words, trigger words like, I love you, there is grace, God is good, okay? All this kind of stuff. And they're like, whoa, that did it for me. I'm good, I feel good, okay? And we could then grow this congregation in that way. But we don't say stuff like that. We're talking of cognitive load. We're talking of flow. We're talking of struggle. We're talking of law. We're talking of grace. We're talking of neuroscience. What the heck am I doing? Am I crazy? Because how many people can palate that kind of stuff? So what am I doing? What have I been doing for years? I'm eliminating. It's very hard for someone that doesn't have the stomach to come here and watch you with pink hair, feathered masks, dancing to house music, to understand whether this is spiritual or not. Okay? It will take a certain type of person. The exact type of person. It's like an interview process. You see? So I interview them by all this. You see? And for years, I would try to push the limit a bit with you. Okay? Push it a little more. Push the language a little more. Push the concept a little more. Push the wisdom a little more. And then I see dropouts. Have you seen dropouts? I don't understand what the hell Kirby is talking about. I don't, what is he saying? So we're pushing a little, and they're like, oh, we dropped out. That's good. That's really good, because where we are going, we can't carry that baggage. Some other guy with a jacket, not when I want to paint my hair or wear my boots, okay? He can take that lot. I don't want that lot. Just get this. It's very, very important. If you're sitting on your seats, you must understand how a person builds very craftily, or with craftsmanship, how you build cultures. Today we have 500 coach groups around the world. If you come and you see them, you'll understand the type of people that have come to us. You'll understand that it is from a cherry-picking way of interviewing through the language I use for my messages. For someone to just listen, the first thing I realized about Kobus was, if someone listens to 1.5 hours of Kobus Van Rensburg, and I don't want a Kobus Van Rensburg listening people here, okay, because that was good for his season. But I realized there are very few people on the planet who can really listen to him fully, really understand him completely. And for them to understand him completely, they have to be completely sold out. You got it? And so if you listen to Kobus Van Rensburg, you have to be completely sold out to what? To the word. I don't need people so much sold out to the word here. Okay? I need people sold out to the community. Yeah. So there's a difference. Okay? There's a difference at what we're trying to build. And why I'm saying this is because Israel was a culture that was built. So that's why law and grace, why I'm explaining this to you, is the law was literally given to them to train them in a certain way for them to be the most powerful nation on the planet. So they were given certain precepts. They were weird people. Even when I see them in New York, even up to now, they look weird. Forget about you. Forget about they don't like you sitting next to them. You won't want to go and sit next to them. They got long dreadlocks with these Hasidic guys with funny things hanging and wearing a cap. And so it's not easy to be a part of the Jewish paradigm. It's for a certain type of people that God knew that He put certain precepts on so that if they keep this, then He understood they will be ready for what is coming. Okay? This is why I'm teaching this kind of stuff, because let me explain one way, a way that we get into grace. One way is if you constantly keep doing something. Okay, there are 4 ways that you can just get into a state of absolute grace or flow. Okay, one way, of course, is through fear. I think these 5-day programs are. Fear means that if you get really scared, okay, and if there is a massive amount of fear on you, because of the adrenaline that comes on you and all the hormones that will kicking, there is dopamine and stuff like that kicking, you will become very creative because of pressure. People who are persecuted are very creative, unless you're you do get that, I'm sorry, okay? Unless you're not so intelligent, okay? But if you're intelligent, when you get hit and hit and hit, you learn to cover, protect, and maybe even hit back. You understand that? So with fear, you can get into flow. So anytime you want to get into flow, my congregation, you have to have very high consequences. You are the best at what you do. I tell people when I go abroad, I boast about you. I say, we have leaders in everything. Like some of the best people in the country are ours. I say it in pride. How do you become the best in what you do? Because of the consequences that you face every single day. Those consequences don't have to be someone wanting to kill you, okay? That happens to me. But those consequences can be that when you go for a dinner party, you will meet the friend who's been talking behind your back. You see? So as you go for the dinner party, you meet auntie and uncle who've been saying things, and you know they've been saying things, and so, the other one who's been saying this, okay, so I'm going. So the consequences are very high to be a wower. Yeah? So when the consequences are so high, naturally, the way it works is, if your consequences are high, creativity flows. It's one of the best ways. That's why I say, don't judge fear. Okay? The law had high consequences. Okay? And because of the high consequences of the law, people will be able to just keep it and keep it and keep it and keep it and do it in certain ways. And they did it in certain ways, and they became very good at it. And today, they have some of the best principles on finance that you can ever imagine. Did you know that if you didn't give God at that time, you could die? Like, we don't even ask for a tithe. Like, they will literally get stoned. The consequences to be able to be accountable with their money, to be able to do the right thing with their money, to be able to take money just because you earned it, for you to have more money, God knew exactly what it will take for you to have more money. There were certain things that you needed to do for you to have more money. Anyone just follows those principles, you will have loads of money. And it was always based on fairness. I'm going to show you something very strange. Shall we I'm going to show you repetition of doing something causes something in your body. Those days, people thought, in neuroscience, they thought that literally how something happens to you is it happens internally, and then your body responds to what's happening with your mind. Okay? That means you're running away from a bear, and then you realize, I'm running. Why am I running? I'm scared. Okay? And then you rationalize. Oh, I'm scared because I'm scared of bears. But there was a guy called William James, who was like the father of neuroscience, and he said he doesn't think so. He said, why you are scared is because you're running. Yes. And this was a massive controversy. And everyone said, this guy's lost it, he's mad. But then, now, they're coming back to the hypothesis that you're scared because you're running. Just understand a simple thing I'm going to tell you about the law and how this thing works. It's just wonderful, okay? You see, if you just take a simple thing, like a feeling of feeling that you're going to get a heart attack or something, please go to the hospital, okay? Just because I say this stuff, this is not to give a caveat for you to try to tackle it at home, okay? I'm saying that, and I'm telling you this thing. Like, you know, when you're exercising, you will feel sweat coming down, the first bits of exercise. Okay, sweat coming down, your heart starts beating, okay? You feel like, how do you do that? The neuroscience of that means if you're sitting on a, now we're really going into neuroscience, no? Yeah, but this is where I didn't want to go with you guys, but I hope it's okay. Is it okay? Yeah. Okay. You see, if you're sitting on a computer, I hope you're not eliminating. Yeah, we will see. We will see if you're eliminating, okay? You see, if you're sitting on a computer, okay, and you started having the same thing happening to you, the same chemical reaction of what happens to you when you started a jog. Your heart starts racing, you start sweating, you run out of breath. What is that? Okay? And they've said the neuroscience is exactly the same. There's no difference. What changes is the appraisal of it. And they've now realized that the body, once the body is very instinctual, the body is the way it is because it's been trained to be what it is. The body is very different to the mind. The body will respond in fear before your mind can know that you're frightened. You see? The body can respond in love before the mind can think, I'm in love. Okay? When the body thinks like that, your mind says, why is this happening? And then the mind says, because you're happy. And then you reinforce what is happening with your body. Okay. How does it happen to your body? It happens to your body because of training from your parents through generations. Culturally, you have attitudes, you have stigmas, you have profiles. You know, attitude is a profile. So culturally, you're being told bears can bite. Snakes are evil. You see? And because they've been passed down, what happens is when you see a snake, you don't pick it up. Please don't pick it up. I have. Because at that point of time, my body didn't respond in that way, so my mind thought I can pick it up. What about $100,000 a month? Not a year. What about $500,000 a month? Not a year. Okay? There are all kinds of things that happen to you when you walk into a showroom. Why you don't sit in that new car that came into the showroom? Why you don't go into the brand new restaurant that you know is very, very expensive, and one meal might cost you a whole month's salary? Why you don't go and have a look at it? Why your nervous system responds in those ways? You see? And then naturally reinforce it saying, because I can't afford it, because I'm poor, because that's not for me. You see? Because of the nervous system responding in a certain way. In fact, they did this with people reading comic books. And how many of you have a pen? You have a pen? Anyone has a pen with you? Oh, yeah. If you take a pen, and if you grate it with your teeth like this, grate it with your teeth like this, grate it with your teeth, okay? And just listen to me. Listen to me grating it with your teeth, okay? Just for 2 minutes, okay, while we're talking. They've realized, grate it with your teeth, yeah, that's right. Teeth, not your lips, yeah, that's right, okay. They've realized, I've said this before a long time ago as well, but they've realized that if you keep doing that, everything I say from now onwards sounds a little bit funnier. Not like that. No, you see? Yeah, like that. You're smiling, okay? So when your face smiles, naturally, yeah, I can see you smiling now, you see? You see, when your face smiles, I can see, now everyone's very happy, okay? Yeah. So when your face smiling, your mind goes, why are you smiling? You see? Yeah, your mind goes like, what the heck? Is there something I didn't know? You know, why are you smiling? Okay? And naturally, he says, oh, it's because you're happy. He's a bit of a Dumbo. The frontal lobe, he can only handle 120 bits of information. He's schizophrenic, in fact, multiple personalities on any good day. Okay? The frontal lobe is very schizophrenic. I mean, he's not only schizophrenic, but he can only handle 120 bits of information. He's not so smart. So he's like, why are you smiling? You're smiling. Something wrong. Oh, no. Oh, you're happy. Oh, I'm happy. You see? But if you grip the pen, and they got people to read comics, and then ask them, what do you think of the comic? And one with the pen like that, and the other one with the pen, you can do the same pen, but you, like that. No, with your lips. First, hold it with your lip. Same thing, hold it with your lip. Hold it with your lip. No, hold it with your lip this time. This way. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Okay? And see, now look at the face. Can you put on Emmy's face? Emmy's face is gorgeous here. Yeah, look at the face. Can you see this face here? Can you see Emmy's face? Yeah, okay. You see Emmy's face? She doesn't look happy. Okay? And then the mind goes, what's wrong?
I'm a drone.
What's wrong? What's wrong? Yeah. They say, what's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong with you? Why? Why are you sad? Why are you sad? And then you realize, oh, I'm sad. Why am I telling you this? Because I'm trying to show you the training of the body through the law. Okay? Now, watch this. I'm going to show you very strange laws of finance. You want to make money? You got to understand the laws of money. Once you understand laws of money, you keep doing this and doing it and doing it and doing it, what happens is suddenly you get into grace and you're free and you don't have to do it anymore because it became psychosomatically locked down. It passes from suddenly something far away into the nervous system and it becomes you. Now you don't ever have to do it again. Like I tell people, I don't do the things that I tell you to do because I did it at one point in my life. I don't need to do it now. But I recommend that you do it because you need to train your nervous system every single day without thinking, oh, it's going to happen to me by grace. Yes, it will happen by grace. And the idea is to reduce the struggle period, reduce the law period, less and less and less so that you can step into grace. You understand that? And when you're in grace, it doesn't mean you're not doing the things that you did in the law. See, a lot of people think, oh, when I'm in grace, I don't do the things that I'm not doing in law. No, you're doing exactly that. Why you stop drinking or eating the wrong kind of stuff is not for you to get back to drink or do that stuff. It's so that you transcend it so much that you're absolutely free from that stuff. Once in a while, it's negligible. You might have a drink, but you don't really care about drink. Because you stepped in a quantum, you moved up. And you don't need that realm anymore. You're not in that realm any longer. Did you just get that? That's why you have the law, not so that you can keep doing that thing, but you can go far above even that. So if you start training yourself to give 10% to church, to God, just keep doing it. Don't worry, keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. And then suddenly you're free and we preach grace. You don't have to give it 10%. Have I ever asked for 10% here? Never. I never asked. Okay? And he said, but Kabi, why don't you ask? Better. I give my 10%. Okay? But actually, I don't give my 10%. I give 80, 90%. Okay? 80, 90%. You know when I made that decision to give that amount? Was when I hit one of my largest financial crises. I said, God, you raise me up and I will give you all. You see? I'll give you all. I'll give you everything. Not 10%. I'll give you everything. You raise me up, I'll give you everything. And I started giving at that point of time. No, people say, oh, when I get, I'll give. No, you give. That will never happen. You're not trained your nervous system to give. How will you give when you're not trained to give? Yeah. So you give, and you give, and you give, and suddenly it's so easy to make money. It's so easy. You can speak a word, and it just comes. It's so easy that giving becomes like, yeah, just let's give. Let's keep giving. Because now I don't need the law to say to give. Do you just get what I'm trying to say? Like, I don't need to try to control myself from eating certain types of food, because although I like the food, I've trained myself to fast, to eat the right thing, to love my greens. Like last time I told you about, what was her name? Alia Crumb's theory about once you really like to eat greens, the greens will make you healthy. But not only that, not only will the greens make you healthy, you can now eat whatever you want, but you'll hardly eat the other stuff unless you go for dinner today to Shang Palace or whatever it is, and I'll be eating there. But that's not my main meal. You just get it? So the Lord trained me to be able to stay healthy because now it's psychosomatic lockdown. I'm now in grace. The law will take you to your death. The law will take you like you're eating the greens, and you're eating the greens, you don't like the greens, but then finally you say, it doesn't matter. I died to the roast pork and all the oily stuff. I died to it, and I'm going to eat greens. And as you die to it, suddenly you love the greens. You're resurrected in you. And now the greens become good for you. You see? The struggle phase is built in to grace. Did you just get that? I'm going to show you a strange law. 615 laws. Most of the laws are not laws that penalize you for sin. That's just a Christian Pentecostal concept or charismatic or whatever it is. That's not true. 400 of the laws were deterrent laws. They were deterrent, and they were laws that were catalyst to your progress. You understand? They were laws that were catalyst to take you into grace. Look at this law. Like, why are the Jews some of the richest people on the earth? they have laws like this, strange laws. Okay, I'll show you this, one of these laws. It's in Deuteronomy. Is this good? Okay. One of these laws is 20. Okay, it's here. Deuteronomy 24. Deuteronomy 24. Very strange law. Verse 19. Now, their laws directly connected, their religion connected with money. Think about that. Think about what I'm trying to explain to you. These are the laws of the land, but they're also laws of their religion. It's a theocracy. And it connected with their money, with their health, and everything. Now, Sri Lanka doesn't have laws like that. I'm just trying to show you the difference. Huh? Sri Lanka doesn't have all laws of that. So the nation is poor. The nation is poor. This is the law of the land. Mind you, I'm not talking of a religious law when you come to Sunday on church that we tell you. This is the law of the land. So you have to get it, why these people trained under these circumstances can become so rich. Now watch this, okay? 30% of, I'm just trying to understand, for you to understand, 30% of the Nobel Prize for Science, 30%. With such a small amount of people in the world. They're like, how many people are the Jews? Like 14, 50 million, 12 million, Raj? 12 million people? Huh? 16 million people? Huh? 6 or 7, I don't know. Okay, small amount of people. How does 30% of the science, Nobel Science Prizes for everything, every invention that you can imagine, go to a Jew? I'll show you. Have it here. Because they understood these things. Can I have it 24? 14.8 million. Okay, so 24 verse 19 to 22. When you reap your harvest in your field and forget a sheaf in the field, I want you to try this at business, okay? You shall not go back to get it. It shall be for the stranger, the fatherless, and the widow, that the Lord your God may bless you in all the work of your hands. This is the law of the land. Forget about coming on Sunday. You see? That means if you're harvesting and you forget to collect your harvest, okay, something falls, you don't go back to get it. Think about your work ethics. You squeeze everyone for every penny. If you forget to negotiate something, you make sure that you call and you bargain it back again. You call a restaurant and you forget to do something or order something or whatever it is, and they don't send, you call him back. Boss. Okay? Or you don't get your discount and you forget to take it, but you remember, oh my God, I have a discount. You call them again next year. Last year, at this time, I got my discount, but this time I came, you didn't give me your discount. You forgot it. So that you will be blessed by the work of your hands. These things I have practiced for a long, long time. When Fiona came into my life, very young age, I said, Fiona, to do a business deal is very easy. It's not hard. I keep trying to make money, it's so easy. I say, you just have to give everyone what they want. But that's not business. But that is business. Because I worked at that time with a friend of mine who forget the fact that he was a mercenary and a killer, okay? Forget that. He was so entitled to everything in life. He spent a couple of years in prison. But he was so entitled. He will take everything from his own mother. He'll sell his own mother if he had to make money. That's the type of guy he was, okay? He was my closest, dearest, loving friend, who I love still up to now very much. This guy, when you do a deal with him, you need to understand, I used to watch the deal, and as I'm doing it, the first deal I did was I was 15, 16, it was sugar, strangely. And I sold sugar, yes. And so, when I was doing this deal, I was watching the amounts he kept, and I realized that certain percentages were much more for him than me. And I asked him, so how come that, these are all my contacts. Like, how come I guess, no, because I'm married, I have children. Okay, right. I was 14, 15 years old. So, if I sit and argue with him about this, what's going to happen is, it's a very simple thing. What's going to happen is that when he gets the money, he'll play me out. That's all. But if I just take what he gives me, I can get money from a bad man. You see? Then I realized if I have 10 bad men, I make 10 times more money. But all I need to know is how much is he willing to suffer. You see? You have to know the capacity. You see, at one point, I realized this, that with these guys, that he would die for me. He would come and take a bullet for me, but he will never give me a fair deal. There are some people like that. Okay? They cannot deal. They will always cheat you with money, but if you call them to come and die for you, they will die for you because they care more about money than their lives. That's the truth. They care more about money than their lives. Their lives are cheap. Money is everything. You got it? You got to know who you're dealing with. So I made a lot of money. I worked for, I don't know whether you know who the people I worked for. I worked for government people and all that. Same thing. Never once try to negotiate a deal. Never. If someone says, they're trying to do, yeah, no problem. Okay. Let's say, let's go, let's walk. And then I get paid. And I get paid according to their conscience. Which is awesome. But if you can negotiate, and he'll tell you he'll give you the money because you negotiated it and you broke his ear. But when he comes to pay, or when he comes to work long term with him, he'll find someone who will take less. It's just the way people are built. Now watch this, okay? So Jews knew this. Very strange story. I'm going to tell you the story about law. And you'll understand how to deploy law as a catalyst. You deploy the law as a catalyst. You can deploy law as a hindrance. Okay, now watch this. Next one from there. If you can have it up, 19, 24. Okay. When you beat your olive trees, what is that? No. Go down, go up. Yeah. When you reap your harvest in your field and forget a sheaf in the field, you shall not go back to get it. It shall be for a stranger, the fatherless, and the widow. And the Lord your God may bless you in all the work of your hands. You see? When you beat your olive trees, you shall not go over the boughs again. It shall be for the stranger and the fatherless and the widow. Listen carefully to this one. When you gather the grapes of your vineyard, you shall go glean it afterwards. So this is called the culture of gleaning. Say glean. Okay. So he says, when you gather the grapes of your vineyard, you shall not glean it afterwards. It shall be for the stranger and the fatherless and the widow. And you shall remember that you were a slave in the land of Egypt, therefore I command you to do these things. You see, so he says, when you're harvesting a field, they would leave the fields, the fields, the borders of the fields, they will not harvest it. They will leave it for people to come who don't have. Strangers, the fatherless, the widow. Do we do that? How many of you have walked with me downstairs when I pass through a door with people waiting there? And you'll realize the amount I pay for dinner is not because I have money. Please understand, I did it when I don't have money. I pay 10,000 rupees for dinner. At a carport, I give him 10,000 rupees. There is no equalizing like, oh, I'm paying for dinner, I have to give 10,000 rupees here. Oh, but dinner is going, no, there's no concept like that. It's off the grid. The reason is because of these things. If you can eat dinner for 10,000 rupees, it's unfair that you go and there's someone standing by the door for 4 hours. And you can have a dinner, but he's going to stand for 4 hours. You just give what you can. You see, it's a very fair and just thing. But you've got to train your nervous system. You don't easily get used to this. You have to keep training and making sure that you are trained as a giver. So when there is constant flowing out, there's constant flowing in. You see how this thing happens. You never see the righteous beg for bread, the Bible says. Now, why I'm saying this is because something really interesting in a book called Obadiah. Okay? And we turn to Obadiah. Obadiah, interestingly, is the Old Testament book that has 1 chapter. Can you believe it? Okay? So you'll think that there is nothing worth really going in there. But interestingly, I'm going to show you how they bring this here. Okay, Obadiah. What are we dealing with? Laws. Laws as a catalyst. What am I busy with? Deploying laws as a catalyst. And now I'm just bringing this very strange law to you for you to make some money. Okay, and for you to understand a few things. But there's so many laws. You can have laws to keep your shoes by the door so that you can run. You can have laws to make sure that every day you don't have to say, or every month you don't have to calculate and say, how much we give the poor? How much do we give the church? How much do we give the poor? How much do you give our relations? If you have to do that every month, that means every month you're deploying this guy to be able to say, no, but last month you didn't have a good deal, no? But last month you didn't make so much money, no? But why are you giving the church so much? Because, no, but you didn't make so much. Or why are you giving the poor so much? You didn't make so much. And you have to have that decision again every month. Some people, every single day, they have to make a decision. But if you make one decision, one law, that's what happened with the Jewish people. It's done. They don't have the option of giving their mind to this guy, the executive function, to make the decision and constantly challenge the decision. You make it once and it's scalable. It's an absolutely scalable thing. You say every month, this is how much I'm giving percentage to the poor, to people, to whatever it is. Watch your finances. It's that every month, done and dusted. It will always happen like this. The poor will get my money. I'm not poor. I'm talking to the poor. Church, I'm church. Someone said, we don't, when you give the church, you should give it one hand, you should know about the other hand. I said, that's not me. The other hand should not know what the other hand is doing. That's wrong doctrine. No, when you come to church, celebrate. Come running to me and say, this is what I got, here it is. Everyone, look, here's some money, give it to me. I'm not poor. The poor, one hand should not know what the other hand is doing. But the church, the Jews, it was a law that they celebrated their offering. Everyone saw. No matter how small it was, that's why the widow's mite. These are laws. It was called a wave offering. The widow had to take a little mite and come and say, hey, everybody, can you see this? This is all I have. I'm giving it. That's how Jesus knew it was a mite. Otherwise, how do you count it? You understand it? It's a law. Don't come and give me whoring like this. You're like, I'm not poor. Wave it. Shout it at someone. Say, prosper. That's how we do the offering. But if you understand the system of why I do the offering, like, when you came to the warehouse, guys, if you understood how I did the offering there, it would blow you away. Okay, you guys have it easy. I mean, people got offended by that. Remember, we sowed it on the ground, and then we got brooms, and they sweep the offering into buckets. Why? Because that's the way you need to give God. You don't give God like this. And the nervous system is made to know that they're proud about how they support the church. You're not worried about your friends saying, oh, much you gave so much to the church. Yes, and so much more. You want to see my books? Or someone, oh my God, you're giving so much money to Kirby. Yes, how much you want to see? If you can't do that, you're not training your nervous system, things can attack you. You'll be proud about giving. Giving the poor, no one knows. So they say, Kirby, why don't you talk about all the stuff you do with the poor? You know how much we do for the poor? You don't know. Because my nervous system is trained in that way. Okay, now watch this. Obadiah, okay? We're training the culture, the nervous system to be free. You're coming out, lift your hands up, you're coming and dancing, you're wearing a mask, okay? What is this about? Annoying, it's annoying, yes. But what is it about? It is about that, yeah, don't worry about it. It's okay. It's about you being able to be free to what is coming. If there is no freedom, you won't be able to handle what is coming to you. God wants to raise you up, but He first wants to train you in a culture. There's giving, there's freedom, there's dancing, there's praise, there's training yourself to be happy. When I finished this today, I sat there, I told Philip and Ryan, I said, we got the best church in the world. I said, I promise you, these guys are the most amazing. I said, can you believe they're so committed to something that is happening thousands of miles away, but they're so immersed in this experience. I said, you understand, Ryan and Philip? I said, we are a blessed people. And what I mean is, I'm a blessed pastor. I don't need that, what I told you before. No, not that I don't like aunties. I like aunties. But I like the cool ones. Yeah. You see what I'm trying to say? Because we don't want that type of culture. I am crafting a community very, very, very carefully. You understand? There's a way to do this, and believe me, I know how to do it. That's why we're having what we're having in the USA, and that is why there's going to be a synergy soon, and we will see what is happening. We've got plans for you. Now watch this, okay? I don't want stiff people.
To make numbers.
Yeah, to make numbers. Now, Trevor Rajaratnam, you'll never see him moving or shaking. Okay, yeah, I'm going there. You won't see a Trevor moving or shaking, no? Okay, so I'm not expecting Trevor to move and shake because Trevor is not stiff. Okay, if you know him a bit, you'll understand he's the most fun-loving, kind person ever. So there are some, come on, give him a big hand. There are some people who will never get him to dance. You'll never. And that's so completely okay. It's completely okay. I'm not telling you to move, but I'm trying to say your nervous system is used to it. Sometimes we can go into laughter here, and people start laughing. But what are we doing? Your nervous system is getting used to living in grace. Okay? Now, Obadiah, where? I can't get to Obadiah myself. Yeah, I'm very close with Obadiah, but it's mind-blowing when you see Obadiah. Are you ready? Okay, maybe we'll have one or two dream teams, okay? Obadiah. I'm in the New Testament looking for Obadiah, okay. Okay, yeah, after Daniel, I think. Yeah, what is that? Shisho? What's she saying? Okay, finally, Obadiah. One page, okay. Very interesting. Remember the gleaning and the field, remember? Okay, remember the gleaning and the field, what we did? Okay, look at Obadiah and look at his law. It was a law that you can't call a restaurant back. I'm going to go again. And it's not a law at church. It's the law of the land. You can't say, oh no, we need to be accountable, no. You can't say that kind of stuff. It's a law of the land that if you forget something, you leave it. You don't try to go and get a bargain just because you forgot it. Yeah, you got it? Yeah? I'm just trying to show you it's a law of the land. And why I'm emphasizing that, then you'll understand why is it law of the land. It's not a law for certain people. It's a law of the land because they want the land to be the richest land in the world. People need to be trained. Okay? They're deploying laws as catalyst. There are laws in this, when you come in here, I won't say laws, but there are laws that I use personally, that will help you live long. One of those laws are exercise. If you know anything about me, I exercise. No? Yeah. One of the laws, I like to eat clean. Okay? Those are not laws I'm putting on you. You're free. One of the laws, I tithe. I give my church. You get it? I don't give this church. It'd be ridiculous if I'm tied into this church. Recently, a pastor told me that. I thought that was really weird. I was like, so pastor, do you tithe? He said, yeah. I said, who do you tithe to? My church. You tithe to your own church? But who the heck are you fooling? You're damn tied to someone else. Who are you covered by? Yeah. Anyway, forget that. Pastors are very weird, okay? I thank God I'm not one. Now, I have a pastoring gift. Not really a pastor, but I know a pastor, Pastor Neil Obesekar. The best in the world, okay? A man of honor. Yeah, he deserves that. No. So there are things in this place that we like to do. I don't like drinking, but I drink. Because my wife has got a different set of laws. No, but I don't like anything that makes me high. Yeah, it's not something that I enjoy. I wouldn't like to be high every day. No chance. Once in a while, I like to get a bit merry and high and stuff like that, but not anything that gets me so high that I had to be, conscious. Yeah, someone said conscious. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So, but I like psychedelics. I like all kinds of things, but it's not like my go-to. I like to be absolutely sober. I love the way my mind works. You see, I love how other people's minds work. I think there's so much that God has given us in sobriety, in strength, to be able to be so decisive and capable. And there's so much that God has already instated in us that I don't like to be unfit. Fitness is very important to me. Because long life is a big value here in this church. I hope you realize. Yeah? Okay, it's a big value. People say, how is your church? You guys look younger every year. They're like, yeah, because we have certain values. They're not laws, but they're values. But they are catalyst to get you into flow. Because if you start focusing on those things and you deploy the laws in the way you want, you will start getting fitter, you start getting healed, and your life will be awesome. But the laws as catalysts. So no one is telling you or forcing you. There's no penalty to these laws. There's a penalty if no penalty from us. There's a penalty only for the consequences of your life. You understand that, yeah? We love the institution of marriage. We ask our wives and our husbands, it's a big value for us that they are faithful. You get it? You see? That's not a law, but there are consequences for if that is not happening. You get what I'm trying to say? Now watch this, how this law works, Obadiah, and we close with this, okay? Here it is in Obadiah chapter 3. No, chapter 1, verse 3. Sorry, there's only one. Yeah. Okay. It doesn't matter, just find it. There. Okay, here it is. The pride of your heart has deceived you. Okay, the pride of your heart has deceived you. Listen, he's talking to people who's very proud, okay? You who dwell in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, you say in your heart, who will bring me down to the ground? Okay, so he's talking of someone high and lofty, proud, all that. Listen, he says, you don't know these things. These are secrets, okay? Though you ascend on as high as an eagle, and through you, where is it here? It is better. Though you ascend as high as an eagle, and though you set your nest among the stars, from there I will bring you down, says the Lord. Now see the next one. Listen carefully. This is really strange. If thieves had come to you, if robbers by night, or how will you be cut off? This is how you're going to be cut off. Very strange. Okay, watch this, okay? Would they not have stolen till they had enough? If grape gatherers had come to you, would they have not left some gleanings? Did you just see that? Did you just see that? I tell people always, there are certain people in my life that I will relate with them, but I will not push them too hard. Because I don't push them too hard. There are people I work with that I don't push them too hard because I always have to give them room to run. You can corner someone for the things that they've done wrong and press and say, but you did this and you did this and you did this, you did this. But you don't give them that grace, the wiggle room for the small white lie. There are people like that. They can't stand white lies because they don't give, but it's a lie, it's a lie. It's like, it's a small lie. Just let them say the lie and get away with it. It's okay. It's okay. There's a room in your company. The guy goes and the drivers go and they may be pumping a little bit of juice from the petrol station and making a little small chit. You don't want to give gleaning room in your life? Nobody's wrong that they are stealing from the company and I will make sure. Like, you'll be brought down from your high horse. It doesn't work like that. There has to be a little bit of room. Okay? Of course, it happens to my pastors, man. My pastors do that to me. I give them money, and then for their vehicles, these are pastors. For their money, for their medical bills, for their petrol bills, for their bills of repairing the car. You think it's real? Dishali calls me. This pastor didn't give the car to repair because he was in Lanerolle and this guy was here and the bill is on this. Let's just allow the gleaning, don't worry. You see, you have to give them the gleaning room. Because he says when the robbers come to rob you and they take everything from you, but if they had gleaning room, they might not have. That's what he says. If you had kept, he says, why have you been brought down? This is why you've been brought down. Because around your fields, you didn't leave gleaning room. So robbers came, and then they took your thing because you didn't leave room for gleaning. Because if they had gleaning room, they would have just had their hands full because they had to glean. Because God has blessed you. He's given you so much. So why not? Why not? Just understand what I'm trying to tell you guys when I'm talking of grace. When Kirby Lanerolle does certain things, wants certain things done in some way, advises y'all as business people to do certain things in certain ways, is because these things have been passed down through generations and generations and generations of wisdom passed down of explaining why we can use certain ways, certain laws, even to deploy them in certain ways that you will be trained for excellence. Okay? Now, yes, this house believes in grace. But some people really need to start from the struggle phase again. Do you understand that? In certain areas of your life, you might need to put the law. And that doesn't mean you're under the law. It means that it's very important that you do that, because very soon after the struggle, guess what? You'll die and you'll be resurrected in grace. Okay? I hope this has helped you. Okay, we're going to talk more next time. There's so much here that is so important. Bless you guys. I won't tire you guys with the prophetic today, but get ready for Sunday. Okay? Love you guys. Bless you.